But this is a video that we're gonna watch. It's called "What is Wrong with White Women?" What's wrong with white women, guys? You ever just see a white woman and you know there's something wrong with her? You know, she's drinking a coffee, she's walking her dog, she's driving the car, and you're like, there's just something wrong with that white woman. Something's up, something's fishy. Well, this guy is gonna, if you couldn't put your finger on it before, he's got it for you now. He's gonna tell us the problem with white women and women in general, mostly, but cuts are different than destruction. Oh, did I say what? What'd you say? Oh, there's no like real group advocating for it. Anarcho-capitalists capitalists advocate for it. Well, I mean, there's your group. My bad. I didn't think about that for a second. No, people like anarcho-capitalists do that, and it plays right into the hands of lots of more like Tea Party-ish Republican senators and other people who think that like that. Like yeah. You go to people who most people who call themselves like right-wing libertarians. Like right-wing libertarians actually want to take away welfare. They don't like any welfare. It was like what's his name? Volikan, like him, who outright said, what did he say? What did he say when he first got in here? What did he say? He said welfare shouldn't exist, just in its entirety. And I don't know what group he'd self-identify with. I don't know what group he'd feel like he's with, or we could group him in. He left before and I didn't really want to talk to him, but yeah, they do. What group I could put him in, we'd have to just like guess there, and I don't feel like trying to dig into someone's head who's not here, and probably we can't get any good things out of here. But people like right-wing libertarians and anarcho-capitalists, both groups with reasonably large followings that do not like welfare in any point. But yeah, back to this video. Let's hear the problem with white women, please. Oh, what was that? Oh, so apparently there was this TikTok. Apparently there was this TikTok here, and it's a white woman finding out my baby's gender today. And apparently she was having a baby, maybe. I'm not even sure if this is real. But let's for the point of argument, let's say it is real. And then she like TikToked herself going to an abortion clinic, and then making a meme out of like aborting her kid, right? Bad thing to do. I don't agree with this. I don't think that's very funny at all. Pretty cringy, unbased. So apparently this is the problem with white women. And I mean, obviously I think most people would find that objectionable, but of course, conservatives would take it as the destruction of Western society, or whatever this guy's going to talk about.
After some things I've seen recently, I think we need to talk about white women again. Before I start, let me go through the 2 obligatory disclaimers. Number 1, no, I don't mean all white women. There are some brilliant and talented nationalist women.
Hashtag not all white women, just you degenerate sluts.
As well as many ordinary white women who simply love their families and nations. And I'm not talking about them.
Oh, families and
2,
nations.
Yes, men are also to blame for the decline of the West. But this video is mostly about the situation of white women and how to...
Yeah, we're going to be talking about white women again. Oh, guys, I know we were going to talk about the Jewish plot to take over the world again, but we have to spend some time to talk about the white woman and their help in destroying our society. Consider yourself to be right-leaning libertarian to some degree, although I disagree with a great many things in their platform. That being said, myself nor anybody thinks welfare should. Anybody you. Well, I mean, that's cool that nobody you know believes that welfare should be destroyed. I mean, I could say the same. Nobody I know has. Nobody I know has engaged in like big air quotes cancel culture, but I would assume that many people who come in here who consider themselves right leaning would talk about the supreme terribleness of cancel culture on the left, which is grounded in some reality. That's just something I could pull out of my head at this point in time. No, I mean, I will still stand by that many, and if you, I mean, you call yourself a right-leaning libertarian. I have no clue what your beliefs are, but if I am 99% sure, if we like take some time to go through like right libertarian sort of arcs in the internet, like sort of stomping grounds in the internet, I'm quite sure we'd find a great many people who believe that we need to get rid of all welfare, if not all to the point of crippling our entire welfare system to the point where it's almost basically unusable, which I would consider almost the exact same thing. I'll stand by that. And especially anarcho-capitalists. Those people, their ideology is literally no welfare.
To understand what's going on. With that out of the way, there is an undeniable and significant difference in the political behavior and social attitudes of.
I really like this. I thought this was like really interesting and very telling. What our country would look like if only a certain person voted. As you see, like people of color over here. If only people of color voted, it'd be the bluest country in the world, and I think the reddest would be here. Is it? Yeah. Well, at least talking about the delegate count, the reddest would be here if only white men voted. Right. I think there's men of color. No, only men. Yeah, only men. As you see, women as well. This is the one he's probably going to talk about, I guess. But we have white women here as well, where it'd still be a overwhelming majority of conservatism.
The sexes, and apparently only for white people. Almost
What
half,
did he say?
and how to understand what's going on. With that out of the way, there is an undeniable and significant difference in the political behavior and social attitudes of the sexes, and apparently only for white people. And significant
Of the sexes? I mean, we have white women and white men here, and it's not like incredibly different. I did assume your vote. I'm sorry, bud. Listen, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to deal with it. Yes, you could, short bus. 100% you could. Are you trying to say that? I mean, I agree that you can find literally anything on the internet, right? But you said like large groups, and I would consider anarcho-capitalism and or right-wing libertarianism, like hard right-wing libertarianism, to be both together, to be not a very large group, but an established real group in and of itself. I mean, we have a libertarian party as well. You know what? No, you can't, Devil Dog. You can't be offended. Not today. Not in my chat. Absolutely not. Nobody's offended today.
difference in the political behavior and social attitudes of the sexes, and apparently only for white people.
Also, yes, you can hear a bunch of left-wing people talk about how they hate white people, and that's very bad. Also, like, white women and white men, they don't vote too incredibly differently. It depends more on region than anything else. What would the election look like if only African Americans voted? Yeah, cool.
Almost half of white women voted for Hillary's openly globalist multicultural platform in 2016.
I don't know what that means. Multicultural. Oh, he's just throwing out the buzzwords. Globalist, multiculturalist regime, whatever. White women, yeah. Okay. So white women didn't like Trump as much as white men did. Cool. Yes, we can agree that white women are the problem. Yeah, I remember I was scrolling through Twitter one day, and not Twitter. I was scrolling through Tinder one day, and I saw a white person, and I would assume that they are a woman being licked in the mouth by their dog, and I was like, yes, the destruction of Western society has finally come.
And if only white women had voted in 2016, Trump would still have won, but by a greatly reduced margin.
Okay.
This article indicates that fewer and fewer white women are voting Republican as time goes on.
Okay, cool. I mean, I think that's good, but apparently he would disagree.
So we may have already said a permanent goodbye to the white women Republican majority. White women are slowly but surely defecting to the explicitly globalist, multicultural left.
Is it globalist, multicultural left? Okay. Okay, I don't think that he realizes that. I think we talked about this the other day. Hello for the white women in chat. Honestly, all of you white women in chat, because I know at least 25% of you are white women. I love you. Okay, you're very cool, and I hope you do great things in your Chevy Impala, in your Malibu, in your smart car. Just great things. Okay, good work.
But today, politics is not really about Democrat versus Republican or left versus right. The only political distinction that really matters is anti-white or white positive.
That's very untrue. That's incredibly untrue. The only person who would ever think about this is someone who thinks about race to an inordinate amount. That's incredible to even start to believe that the only real political differences that happen in this country, and I'm very offended that some Brit bonger, bald-headed freak is over here trying to talk to me, trying to Brit-splain about my country's politics. You have no clue what's going on in my country, okay? Get out. Go back to eating your jellied eels and breakfast beans, okay?
And both main parties in the US and UK are effectively anti-white now.
That's very untrue. Very anti-white. I wonder what he even means by that. Does that mean we don't want to like round up brown people and like send them to the work camps? Or what does that mean, anti-white, to him? It's probably some super fragile America. Heck yeah, dude. There's only one country in the world. I'm living in it. Happy birthday, America. Happy 20th birthday, America. I'm saying generalized statements about groups of people is not a good thing, especially what you did. I don't think. All right. What did I say at the very beginning that started this off again? I don't remember exactly what I said. If you remember exactly what I said. I don't remember exactly what I said. No, but I would imagine like his idea of being anti-white, white privilege, white women. Heck yeah, dude. They're spreading their white privilege everywhere. I'm gonna slip on it and fall. His idea of like anti-white is incredibly fragile and incredibly meaningless to like today's political climate. So it'd probably be anti-white means allowing non-white people to immigrate to the U.S. That's probably anti-white policies that he's talking about.
No parties are standing to preserve the white majorities in white countries.
There it is. We found it. Jelly deals.
And now we know what
we
Trump
found it, bud.
represents.
Yes. We need to maintain the white majorities. If we allow brown people to come here, it is the destruction of Western society, because Western just means white. And we all know that brown people don't have society.
I.e. legal and illegal third world immigration in unprecedented numbers. And many white women who voted for Trump are completely okay with this policy. I want you to watch this short clip.
Wait, what did he say again?
Legal and illegal to preserve the white majorities in white countries. And now we know what Trump actually represents, i.e. legal and illegal third world immigration in unprecedented numbers. And actually represents, i.e.
Really?
legal and
Trump ad-libs that he wants legal immigrants in the largest. Yeah, this is what they say. Like, oh, it's not the illegal immigrants that we hate. It's the legal. It's not the legal immigrants that we hate. It's the illegal immigrants. I mean, there's lots of them that'll believe that. Obviously, that gets co-opted every once in a while to a fun, tasty little dog whistle. Yeah, legal immigrants in this case means in a dog whistle would mean only white immigrants. And white immigrants don't want to come to this country because why would they? Why would anybody from like Germany or, well, not Poland, but Germany or like France really want to come to the US? Like, what?
And illegal third world immigration in unprecedented numbers. And many white women who voted for Trump are completely okay with this policy. I want you to watch this short clip.
Remember when
I was gonna go over this clip. Like now that I'm seeing it, I was going to go over this clip and laugh at how like ridiculous that it is. But now that he brought it up, I can laugh at it in a new context. So this is going to be the background to this video is that this is a Hispanic man, I believe some Latin American immigrant who came here. I think he's first generation maybe, and he has a son who's in the school system. And this is a PTA meeting, parent teacher meeting, and he got the mic, and he's going to be talking about how his son comes home crying sometimes because of the bullying that happens in the school system, and everyone's listening, very patient, and then something magical happens, and then we can see. So there's your context. Here we go.
Are completely okay with this policy.
Yes, most people are okay with immigration because most people aren't crazy.
This short clip.
remember when I went to his bedroom to say goodnight and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why didn't you stay in Mexico?
Look at him. Look at him. He's like the look at this dude. He's like, what did I say? What did I what? Why are you? He's like the what's his name? Hannibal Buress. You know that meme where the why are you booing me? I'm right. He's got that face. Look at him. He's like, what do you mean? You know, if we try to hang him, then why didn't he just stay in Mexico? Like, look at all the people who are like really upset.
That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing. And that's no, he's sharing a story right now. That's indicative of what our kids are experiencing.
And everyone's trying to get this guy to leave. He's just standing there. He's just sitting there like, I did nothing wrong. What are these people so angry about? Like, can you even imagine you sitting like this is what happens in a cartoon. This happens in a TV show. Like most people probably felt super uncomfortable. Most everybody is like really uncomfortable here. That they would experience this in real life, right? It sounds fake. It's like someone's gonna pop out with a camera, like a camera crew's gonna pop out and a director, and they're gonna say, "Cut, nice work, everybody." What happened? He was pointing at someone and saying, "You're right, you're right." Apparently, there was someone who's like, "Oh, well, this is a platform for discussion, so why is everybody so mad?" That's all right. Oh, he doesn't want the mic. He doesn't want the mic. He doesn't want to talk.
As you just saw, there really is nothing as vicious as a white woman who gets interrupted from her ritual of self-flagellation and non-white worship, like the white women cheering on the migrant hordes.
Self-flagellation and non-white worship. Someone getting like the definition of racism thrown at them in like a PTA meeting where they're talking about how their child was being abused at school is self-flagellation. All right, buddy.
This clip embodies so much about what is wrong in the West. Tom Bertel, the white guy who dared challenge the Mexican, certainly learned his lesson about white women that day.
Probably
They could
not.
feel the energy. In unison, they instantly gasped. How dare this white man challenge a brown man? Why has
Challenge. I think they'd say that about anybody. I think most people would get pretty uncomfortable. Or I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys have experienced like racism in real life or anything in any capacity. If you're like a bystander or anything, I personally haven't. But like that situation is pretty messed up. I think by anybody's standards is pretty messed up, but not by this guy. And apparently, all 9,000 people want to like this video.
Hasn't he checked his privilege? And when the black man got up to join in, you could just feel their delight in teaming up against the white bigot.
I love his psychoanalyzation. Like he thinks he's the smartest boy in the world. When he saw this, he had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast, and he's like, "Ah, yes, I can feel the destruction of the white race in this entire room. The beautiful pearly white man looks at the disgusting white hater, talking about how his kid was abused at school and told him to just leave, I guess." They said some pretty sketchy stuff. I mean, maybe. No, yeah, I've never seen anything like this in public. Most people haven't, thankfully. We've done a pretty good job of making these sorts of people who believe these sorts of things pretty scared to speak up, which is good. I think that's good, especially in public settings like that. It helps build a community that's much more hostile to these sorts of beliefs, which I think is good. I'll stand by that.
A lot of white women just love to side against their own kind. Selected participants here were the one that shouted, "You need to leave," the one who said, "Go."
Do you think that? I think that most people. What? Mexico, China, India, Philippines, El Salvador, top 5 in that order, are the birthplaces for legal immigrants. How's that only letting white people immigrate? Oh, we didn't say that. We said when some people, especially people like this, say legal immigration, oh, we want legal immigration. Lots of times when you dig down into that and you ask them a bunch of questions about that, the real thing they want to say is they want more white immigrants, and they don't want from people from those countries, right? We didn't say that when people say they only want legal immigrants, that they're. I think most people, when they echo that talking point, oh, we want only legal immigrants, not illegal immigrants. I think most people are just mean they want legal immigrants and not illegal immigrants. Happy Black History Month. Thank you. Happy Black History Month. It's halfway done. I felt very history this month. I hope you have as well. Oh, it sounded like that? No, Omega brought up, if we can scroll back. What did they I don't remember where they said it. But they were talking about how like when people say that, sometimes it's a dog whistle to say they only want white immigrants. Sometimes. Indeed, brother. Yes. Make Black history. Every single day I'm living, I'm making Black history. I'll tell you that much.
Go, go. The one who went apoplectic with rage, and the one that got right in Tom's face at the end. Eventually, Tom had his say and brought more unwelcome truth to this meeting, and this is the only short clip of it that I could find.
Unwelcomed truth. Oh, I didn't know he spoke. Let's hear him. See, the fact that they didn't chase this guy out of the building is proof that people don't hate him as much, or they're at the very least here to listen to him, because the rules are you are listened to. I don't think many people expected someone to come here and be like mad at someone's kid being bullied, but you open the floor, let him have his piece. The only thing he can do is hang himself on his rope.
And brought with rage.
Let's slow it down a little bit
so in Tom's face at the end. Eventually, Tom had his say and brought more unwelcome truth to this meeting, and this is the only short clip of it that I could find.
Try being white and walk in a black neighborhood, see what happens. And like this incident where somebody made a little tweet.
Very tangential to his point. Also, black people aren't immigrants. I think 99 of black people here aren't immigrants. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's when we were talking. No, yeah, that's when we were talking about. That's when we were talking about when I said white when people. That's when we were talking about when I said when some people say legal immigrants, they mean only white immigrants, and they just brought it up. No, we don't believe that when people say legal immigrants. No. Grep, hey, Grep, when we post stuff like that, like we're not in a, like I don't promote like a super leftist community. So most people, when they hear stuff like that, it's going to sound exactly the same way how Short Bus interpreted it. So I would suggest maybe explaining your point more, and I should probably do that as well, because I'm used to just talking to other left-wing people and we understand since we already gone through these points. So it's important to probably talk about it, explain more than just say. Because I like these people here, and I don't want them to get the wrong impression. Coming from someone who served, it's pretty strange how racism doesn't really exist when shit hits the fan. So one cares about skin color at the point of racism comes from people. What? Yeah, racism does come from, and I also think it, like its core is fear and its core. Well, a lot of its core is fear and ignorance. Like it's way harder to find racist people who live in super diverse communities, where you see like Asian people and black people and Hispanic people and like other sorts of people around you every single day, and you have to interact with them every single day, and they're just regular people, right? Because most people are just regular people, especially here in the US. We all have some like a pretty cohesive idea of the world when we're just like Americanized. So most of the time people aren't racist, especially not in the way that this guy is. Like everybody here was very concerned when he said that, and most people didn't know how to react because they don't hear that. No one hears this. No one hears something like this anymore, right? It's like you're in a movie from the 1950s or something. Well, why don't you just if you're tired of us burning down your houses, why don't you just leave? What?
Okay, nobody's heard that. And like
Clip of it that I could find.
Here we go.
White and walk in a black neighborhood, see what happens.
Like I said, tangential to his point, black people are not immigrants. Also, most people are fine walking through a black neighborhood. People do it all the time.
And like this incident where somebody made a little tweet. Okay, nobody's heard that. You know, that nobody got.
If this story had been about a
That's the truth. What he just said, cyberbullying doesn't attack. Black people mean. Try walking through a black neighborhood. Even if that's true, that doesn't help him. Like that, that doesn't help his point. Like even if that was true, like every single time a white person walks through a black neighborhood or whatever he's trying to insinuate there, that doesn't. How does that help him? That doesn't help him. I hope everybody can see that. That does not mean anything to his point. Like just because, can you imagine if that's like how we run things? Like, oh, officer, I was assaulted, officer. I'd like to file a report. And the officer's just like, well, if you don't want to get beat up, just leave. What? Officer, hello, 911 operator. My house was just robbed. I'd like to file a report. Well, if you don't want to get robbed, just leave, bro. Omega lol. And then they hang up. Like, that's not how we run. That's not how the world works.
White kid being racially abused in a majority non-white school, of course, none of this outrage mob would have cared. So-called diversity and
Well, for one, because minority majority schools are few and far between. And I'm pretty sure that's a big issue of contention there. Like, people still talk about it. I've heard people talk about that before. We had a whole talking. We had a whole what was it? We had a whole school assembly about racism, and they didn't just talk about racism against people of color. They talked about racism against white people too, and it was very informative. It was very nice.
tolerance only ever goes one way. Tom, one of the few white men present, was the
Yeah, because we were also referring to like this video where he was talking about he was talking about anti-white policies, and he said, yes, look at Donald Trump. We thought Donald Trump would be our white savior, but we see that he also supports the globalist anti-white policies of legal immigration. See, we could always go back, but I hope we figure that out. I hope we cleared that up.
only voice prepared to challenge the brown victim narrative and bring some balance to the discussion.
This is not balanced. He's just a dick. I don't think anybody would look at this and be like, yes, finally, balance, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Okay.
He was the only one.
I don't know who
prepared
thinks
to
about.
speak
I don't know
up
who
for
thinks
white
like this.
children and the reality of so-called diversity and tolerance.
And that's, can you imagine how absolutely mad this person would be if you're talking to him and he talks about, yes, look at all the black on or people of color on white crimes in this country, and it's like 2% of all race crimes, and then someone brings up, well, 98% of crimes in this country are 98% of race motivated crimes in this country are white people against other races, and he's like, how dare you derail the conversation about the destruction of the beautiful white race? Of course you liberal globalists would try to glaze over the fact that white children are being systematically destroyed around the world. You know, like, come on. Like, come on. No, this is not an argument that holds up.
Perhaps these women will be happy when their grandkids are being routinely beaten at school for being part of the white minority.
Oh, no. See, this is like the old meme where these people, they want to maintain a majority, and they give all these tangential reasons to their actual belief. And those reasons will be like, well, that's how it's always been, or well, that's how the country should be run. If you look at these random texts from founding fathers every here and there, when they talk about Anglo-Saxons, that means they want it only to be white people, and this and that, and the third. And then once you like hammer them, they're like, well, we don't really want to be minorities because look at black people, you know, and you know. And then they basically prove that that like being a disenfranchised minority does have a lot of weight that comes to it. It does. That's just a fact, and they know it, and they're just scared that if they're a minority, then the Browns will rise up and like set up white slave camps, just for the memes, just for revenge, I guess. Even though most people just want to live their life.
Like in many other parts of the country. White flight happens for a very good reason. The problem comes when there is nowhere left for us to run. We have to be open
There's
and honest
nowhere
about white
else for
women's
us to run. I haven't looked into like the idea of white flight. A lot of people, a lot of these types try to say it happened in Chicago, and it definitely wasn't because of you know, like redlining and pre-affirmative action hiring policies that made it so white people in Chicago had the most amount of money and resources, and then the economy crashed in Chicago, so opportunity dried up, and so the only people who had the chance to leave and go to places with more opportunity were people with money, and those happened to be more white people. Like, yeah, you want to do real gang shit, dude? Don't worry, buddy. They love accepting white people into their midst. They'll give you a hug. They'll give you a paperclip tattoo. Everything's gonna be good, my guy. Don't worry about it. Don't let this guy get you down. If you want to follow in the footsteps, yeah, wholesome gangs, indeed. If you want to follow in the footsteps of Trippie Redd and shoot, what the hell is his name? The dude who like got arrested and then had to rat out literally everybody in his gang. What's his name? 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. If you want to follow in the footsteps of Tekashi 6ix9ine, brother, don't let this guy stop you. Gangs have no bounds, okay? They accept white people all the time. You got it.
Special role in facilitating this process. They are virtue signaling white communities into collapse, and no other racial group of women is so at odds with its men. And if you don't believe the line I'm taking in this video...
What are you talking about? Have you ever heard like discourse between like groups of black men and black women? Like that stuff's pretty mean. They get pretty angry. Like I've watched and heard many a video and many a thread about how black men do not hold up, do not like appreciate black women enough, or and perpetuate like racist tendencies towards them. Like I hear that all the time, and I'm not even in a bunch of like predominantly black communities, just a couple every now and again. And this is definitely a problem. It's just the world, buddy. The real problem, the real war isn't black versus white. The real war is versus men versus women, and even to a smaller extent, the true war is gamer versus non-gamer. Rise up.
Perhaps this next piece might convince you.
Why liberal white women pay a lot of money to learn over dinner how they're Why liberal women pay a lot of money to learn over dinner how they're racist. A growing number of women are paying to confront their privilege and racism at dinners that cost $2,500. That's really weird. But okay. I mean, if it works, you could just like, if you wanted to hear about like privilege and racism, you could just watch a YouTube video.
Let's get the reality straight from the mouth of professional non-white victims. And let me quote from this article to explain. This is Race to Dinner. A white woman volunteers to host a dinner in her home for 7 other white women, often strangers, perhaps acquaintances. Each dinner costs $2,500, which can be covered by a generous host or divided among guests. The frank discussion is led by co-founders Regina Jackson, who is black, and Saira Rao, who identifies as Indian American. They started Race to Dinner to challenge liberal white women to accept their racism, however subconscious. If you did this in a conference room, they'd leave, Rao says. But wealthy white women have been taught never to leave the dinner table. Rao and Jackson believe white liberal women are the most receptive audience because they are open to changing their behavior.
I haven't seen any studies on the the ability for the ability of women in general for the ability for like men or women in general, like their levels of accepting changing their ideas. I don't know if this is true. What's 20? Let's see. Let's say everybody joins in. What is that? Everybody would pay like $357 amongst all of them. I have no clue why they do that, but this is rich people. So I guess if you get a bunch of rich women who have nothing better to do and want to engage in like cringe virtue signaling to feel good, then sure. Really hate the left sometimes. Don't worry, I really hate the right sometimes. It's okay. Perfectly balanced. This is cringe. but I think people learning about racism isn't. So that's cool, I guess. What else was there? Rowan Jackson believe that white women are the most receptive because they're keen to changing their behavior. They don't bother with the 50% of white women feel. A lost cause. White men are never going to change anything. I mean, that's kind of racist. I don't believe that. This just seems like a really weird. Who's Regina Jackson? Let's see. Who is Regina Jackson? She is black. Can confirm. Chair of the Oakland Police Commission, speaker, visionary, compassionate ambassador. This person's a no name. They didn't even have like a Wikipedia page. Nobody cares about this person. Okay. Co-founders Regina Jackson, who is black, and Sierra Rowe, I guess is a white. Oh, who identifies as Indian American. Oh, so it's a black woman and an Indian American woman having like 7 white women pay $2,500 collectively so they can talk to them about racism. Okay. What Mueller, what's up, bud? Raging Mueller. I feel like I've seen you in here before. What's up, bud? What AOC do this time? She was talking about how what's his name? She was talking about how what's his name? I just had it up. We finished that topic, but AOC was talking about an economist, and she said, Milton something. What? Let's go back. We can go back. Time to look through the history. Boop. Here we go. AOC was talking about how Milton Friedman pontificated that by 2030 we'd all be able to work 15-hour work weeks and be able to make the same or more amount of money. And she accidentally said Milton Keynes, fudging the name with John Keynes. And then people said AOC invented a new economic system because she messed up a name but got the quote right. So that's basically everything that happened. Who identifies as Native American? No, she identifies as Indian American. So she's like part Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris is half black, half Indian, but she identifies as a black American even though she's like half Indian. Yeah, I'm Indian as in like India, not Indian as in Native American, but it's okay. I mean, no, not really. It's not really the same when we're talking about India, the country, and Native Americans as in the Native Americans, but same difference. There you go.
Room, they'd leave, Rao says, but wealthy white women have been taught never to leave the dinner table. Rao and Jackson believe white liberal women are the most receptive audience because they are open to changing their behavior. They don't bother with the 53% of white women who voted for Trump. White men, they feel, are similarly a lost cause. White men are never going to change anything. If they were, they would have done it by now, Jackson says. White women, on the other hand, are uniquely placed to challenge racism because of their proximity to power and wealth.
White women, on the other hand, are uniquely placed to challenge racism because of their proximity and wealth. Jackson says, if they don't hold these positions themselves, the white men in power, often their families and friends, their partners. Okay, so apparently what this is, and they're charging a very high rate to, if they were doing this for like free, or it was like $500 split between all of them or something, or like by one host, And this was just, now that he explains it, the more I'm more for it. It sounds kind of interesting. If it was like free or, you know, much less expensive, then I'd be more for it. It's just like wanting to talk to these people who they perceive as being an into the white community, to help sow the seeds of de-radicalizing people from racist ideology, which I think is all right. What's going on? This racist dinner event sounds pretty dumb though. SJW white moms paying out the ass to be lectured on how to be racist. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. SJW white moms paying out the ass to be lectured about how they're racist, or their families or people in there, or just racism in general. I mean, I don't know how this is destroying Western civilization. I don't know how learning about racism is what's wrong with white women. It just sounds like a bunch of women who have too much money and too much time on their hands want to spend a bunch of money in this. Like, you could probably get a better like time versus money expenditure by watching a YouTube video. But I mean, if it's cool and if these people are good speakers, like the Regina Jackson seems to be like a good public speaker, I guess. So having like an actual public speaker who talks about these issues, like actually talk to you over a very personal setting, like a dinner, seems to be something that would reach people, I guess. I don't know. It looks like they have some potatoes. I don't know. What's that? Maybe some bread. They got like a gravy boat. They have black plates. It was around Christmas. Look at all those books. Maybe they paid for every single one of those books. I don't know what's for dinner. It's probably just what I'm guessing. What I'm guessing is that their goal was to attract rich white women, not just your regular old white women. They wanted to attract rich white women who have $350 to spend. So the price tag most likely is just so they weed out people who they don't think is their target audience. It's the same way you make like a premium product. Like, poor people are probably not going to buy Supreme. Poor people are probably not going to buy Bape. Poor people are probably not going to buy like some other luxury good. I feel and if they feel that's their target audience, knock yourself out, buddy. Ramen to get the full experience. So I don't know if they're grifters. I don't know if I'd call this grifting. If people seem like I mean, this one, Regina Jackson, she's an actual public speaker I mean, I don't know if you'd call that grifting. They seem like they're actually wanting to do I mean, how would this be grifting in this case? How would you define grifting in this case? Because I think grifting would be like make money off of something non-genuine. Well, there's two speakers. I guess the other one's on the other side of the table or something. Yeah, they did say it could be paid by everybody collectively or one very generous host. So I guess sometimes just one person foots the bill and brings all of her friends.
Jackson says, if they don't hold these positions themselves, the white men in power are often their family, friends, and partners. Clearly, these race hustlers.
Okay, so yeah, that's their goal. Their goal is to reach white men through white women who tend to vote more conservative, and conservatism tends to be the one exporting things that can be called racist ideas, in my opinion. I think in general parlance, I can stand by that. I'll stand by that. No. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Very interesting. I don't care about this. If they want to pay $1,200 for a public speaker to come to them over dinner and talk about racism, sounds cool to me. Or you could just watch a YouTube video.
Understand that white women are the weak link. They have perfected a lucrative shakedown, a way to subvert white families.
If you could get them to pay $300 a plate, it's actually more than 300. I think it's 357. If you break it down between 7 women, so it's like almost $360. You could buy a Switch and Breath of the Wild with that money. So they're getting a bunch of SJW wine moms, beautiful, to shell out plus $300 for dinner so that Karen can go back home and nag the hell out of her husband until he flips his shit and takes it out on the whole family. I mean, we can only hope that he doesn't beat his family, but you know, I guess if his wife coming home talking about how someone told them about like the nuances of racism in our society can make dad drink the angry juice and beat mom, then 'tis life, my boy. Yeah, if I could get a bunch of people, if I could get all of you guys to pay $300 for being here, so I can talk to you so I can ramble about this video for the next like 20 minutes, then hell yeah, I do that. Fuck a Bernie bitch. There's a girl I'm talking to and she likes Bernie Sanders. If that's what you mean by a Bernie bitch, she's really cute, so I would fuck a Bernie bitch. You're right. I would. Will there be cornbread? Maybe, I don't know. I should be ashamed of myself as a black man. Why? I'm chilling, dude. Feels Bernie Man is a really good dude. I want a Bernie bitch. I don't know about you, Omega Grep, but I want a Bernie bitch. If I could have a Bernie bitch on my lap right now, I would. Sounds kind of hot to me. Why should I be ashamed of myself as a black man? I like that part. I like that picture of him being arrested for being at a civil rights protest. That's kind of cool. You have black friends that beat the shit out of me. Well, I have a gun. Why are you back here? Do you want to follow, Joe? Do you want to like drop a follow so you know when I'm going live so you don't miss anything? If you're just gonna like come here every day, or do you just want to find me? I won't be in politics every day. You're down with them, dude. Especially if they got like, I don't know about you, if you're like a more boobs guy or a more ass guy. For me personally, it's the thighs. If they have nice juicy thighs, that's what I'm about. Like they can be like boobless, right? If they look like Mei from Overwatch, I'm down every single day of the week. Thighs are that's it. Physical threats. You have friends that would beat me up? Why do I care about your black friends that would beat me up? Why do I care? Excuse me, Joe. Didn't we talked about this yesterday? Excuse me, Joe. Once again, you are erasing Bernie Sanders' Jewish heritage. He's not white, he's Jewish. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I have a couple black friends. I went to IT. I have a certification in information technology. I had one other, there was another black guy in there. He's in marching band. His name's Michael. He's a very nice guy. I'm in a group chat with him. Very kind lad. Other than that, I don't really have too many. Well, I have one. She's a friend of the family. She's black. She's nice. She's staying with us over the weekend. You're a boobs guy? What the heck? We have the pure dichotomy. The dichotomy of man. Wait a second. Whoop, I can't type apparently. Not now. All right, here we go. I found the video. Is this gonna be? This might be a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit.
I'll fucking kill you! I'll fucking kill you!
This is me and Devil Dog right now. Nah, dude. Yeah, I bet Joe doesn't even eat ass. I bet he doesn't even. I bet he's scared of it. He doesn't even eat pussy because it's too close to the ass. You must be one of them pony boys. No, you're a dog-faced pony. You're a dog-faced pony soldier. Have you ever been in a fight? I have been in a fight. I've been in a couple fights actually. I'm not gonna flash a gun on stream. What are you, crazy? What are you, dumb? You only eat ass if you get in there with a bottle brush first. No, you just have to trust them. You go. It's easy. Easy rares. And if she left some in there for you, that's just a treat. She left some flavor in there for you because she loves you. Why are you so mad? You get more and more mad every single day, Joe. Do you have like any hobbies? I want you to not be mad. Why? You can chew it for her. That's free food. Eat ass, skate fast. No, I'm not going to flash a gun on stream. You crazy person. I'm much smarter than that, and I have better like gun etiquette than that. Yeah, that was Ben Franklin who said stay strapped to get clapped. One of the best founding fathers, mind you.
Attitudes by playing on white women's unique suggestibility and need to virtue signal. And business is clearly good, because these are far from the only ones in this line of work. No doubt most of you will have seen this monstrosity.
All white people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually. So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually, instead of people of color and black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy, that y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons.
No.
What the fuck? I mean, that was cringe, and I'm not going to support that. That's a really dumb person, and I hope they didn't pay to get into that room because that was absolutely abhorrent to like actually believe that. You couldn't hear it? Let me redo it. It must have been a little quiet. Let me turn it up a little bit. Can I turn it up here? Let me turn it up here just a tiny bit. And then here a little bit. The audio was really bad.
Line of work. No doubt most of you will have seen this monstrosity.
All white people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually. So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually, instead of people of color and black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy, that y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons.
So yeah, hopefully that was easier to hear. No, I mean, good luck. I'm gonna need it. Hope you don't despair after that old white socialist loses again. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, Joe's an undercover Twitch mod. He's trying to bait us into getting banned. He's ban baiting us. Joe is the little like I do something wrong, and then from the door, like behind me, like right here, freaking Chris Hansen pops out and he's like, "Take a seat." Oh, you're already sitting. I don't know. Joe, he's just very angry all the time. I hope he gets better. I don't want him to be so angry. Oh, he's still here. I thought you left. Anyways, back to this. Yeah, I don't condone that. That was very dumb. Like, white supremacy has many shapes and forms, but to say that white people are all race, I was at first, she had me at the first half. I thought it was going to be like she comes out with a super inflammatory statement where she's like, all white people are racist, like a book cover, like a grab your hook sentence where you're like, all white people are racist, and then she like elaborates on it and she talks about how no, not actually all white people are racist. She had me at the first half. I was open to like, I gave her the benefit of the doubt, but she's just dumb. So that's very unfortunate, and I hope all of those women didn't pay to get into that room, because no, not all white people are racist, and white people in general, and white people in general are mostly okay, I guess. People in general are mostly okay, I guess. You're 24? Brother, I'm 21. You know what? Just because of all that with Joe, I need a shot. I have some lime juice. There we go. Old school rap is fun. I think there's lots of rap today that's just fine. But I don't know. I think there's lots of new rap that's pretty cringe. I don't listen to the radio. Most of it's pretty bad. I like a lot of creative artists, and I feel like a lot of creativity doesn't get appreciated on the like news cycle, like attention and click cycle that we have, like attention economy that we have today. Like a lot of creative artists go unnoticed because they're just not getting the same clicks, which is unfortunate. But you know, what are you gonna do? They're always there. You could always find them. A lot of good Bandcamp artists. A lot of people on SoundCloud. Lots of people on YouTube just putting out good music, doing their thing.
Now, to anyone with an ounce of self-respect, these weirdos and parasites would not be given the time of day, let alone receive payment or an invite to your home. But there is a thriving market for self-hatred and in-group disloyalty. But why are they so focused on women? We can ask whether women are genetically more predisposed to this sort of misguided empathy with outgroups.
Of course you would. I don't know. I feel a lot of this when it comes down to brass tacks, when they try to make like prescriptive statements about the world. A lot of it comes down to people just being biologically deficient, and it's no problem with our society in general. It's or like what we build. It's just if something's wrong, it's the people who are just biologically incapable of fixing it. And that just boils down to like essentialism and breeds racism. White women need to season their damn food. It was Listen, okay? Listen. I have a funny story. Me and my friend like to go eat out. We have our little dates. little boy date. All right. We go eat out. We go hang out sometimes. We go skateboarding every once in a while. Lots of our friends, we do this. Just to get a nice break out of work, take a weekend or two, hang out with each other. Just like back in the good old days in high school. So I was hanging out with my friend. We went to, I know, right? Very cute. We take pictures for Instagram and everything. So we were at Red Lobster, right? Chilling as boys do. Got the tax return, big bucks. So we went to Red Lobster, and we were like, what are we gonna get at Red Lobster? Obviously lobster, but more obviously we're going to get dumplings, because of course you get dumplings at Red Lobster. That's exactly what you do. So we went to go, so we ordered them, and it came with it said on the things like, hey, it comes with a spicy sauce. So that got us talking, haha, white people don't like spice. White people can't handle spice. Haha, funny meme. And our waitress came back with the food, and she's like, be careful, guys. It's really spicy. I couldn't finish a whole one. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you need anything to wash down all that spice. And then she left, and we tasted it, and it was not spicy at all. There was just like a little bit of pepper flake in there, and that's it. It was my friend's also white, mind you. So it was just really funny. She was not. She actually looked scared when she brought it out. That, and I remember at work, this woman wanted a chicken sandwich. She looked scared. She like wiped her hands off after she touched the plate. Like, and there was no sauce on the outside of the plate. Like that type of scared. Yeah, it was really weird. I was uncomfortable. But like, I remember at work, this woman asked for chicken sandwich, and she asked, hey, is your chicken sandwich spicy? I don't do very well with spice. And I said, no, ma'am, we don't have a spicy chicken sandwich. And then I brought it out to her, and then I was just like cleaning a table, doing my thing. And then I come, and then she stops me while I was walking back to the counter, and she's like, sir, this chicken sandwich, it's spicy, sir. I'm like, what? Ma'am, we don't have a spicy chicken sandwich. She's like, no, it's burning my mouth as I speak. And she started like chugging her water. And I asked my manager, like, is there spice in this chicken sandwich? Because I don't eat chicken like that. I rarely eat chicken. I've never eaten chicken from my work. And she's like, no, we put pepper on it though. And we had to like get her a whole refund and say sorry and everything. So not a meme. Every once in a while, it's just white people can't handle spice, I guess. I'm not very good with spice. I don't like spice most of the time. Yeah, she might also be sensitive to pepper. But it's just funny that it plays into that. Like, it's just funny that it plays into that vision. I don't like spice that much. I think most of the times when people like spice, people who like spice, like spice, are just like clout chasers. That's my hot take. People like spice are clout chasers. Most of the time when something's really spicy, you don't taste anything besides spice, and that's it. It's just hot. It doesn't taste good. It's not interesting. It's just spicy, and I don't like it. If it tasted good, I'd be fine. Like, we have a very mild hot sauce at my house, and I mix it with some butter and make hot wings every once in a while when I like fry up some wings. That is, mucho grande. That is very good, but it's not very spicy. Spice chasers are just as bad as vegans, and they'll shame you. Like, they'll dip their chicken wing in like the bottle of ghost peppers, and they'll sit there like, you guys don't like the spice? It's delicious. Like, dude, chill. Okay, jeez. Like, no, I don't like that. I would like to taste the food that the spice is on. They can't. I know for a fact they can't taste anything. They probably burned all of their taste buds away after all their spice chasing. Of course you love spicy food, Splat. Heck off. People who like spice just like to see. I think that's where the real. Maybe it's just kinky, you know. Maybe they just like it after they go to the bathroom afterwards, you know. Like the chase, like the real excitement doesn't come when you eat it. The real excitement comes when it comes out. That's when the battle begins. You know, when you eat it, you win the war. But we see who really wins the battle in the bathroom afterwards. Nothing better. There is nothing better than a good poop. You ever like take such a massive poop and then you get up, you feel 5 pounds lighter. You feel like you just like went to the gym. You lifted like 350 pounds above your head. You feel like you ran a marathon and you get up. You like wipe the sweat from your brow and you're like, whew, whew. And you look down at your like Mona Lisa in the toilet and you flush that thing and you're like, I did it.
We can ask about the effects of feminism and so-called female empowerment. We can ask whether there is some weird...
I love it how these guys think like anytime a woman like does anything besides like pumping out babies and sucking dick at home, that it's a detriment to society. Yeah, like, or when you get up in the morning and you take that like 3-minute long pee.
It's psychosexual motivation to blame. Perhaps it relates to the obvious decline of masculinity. But these women seem to have successful husbands, stable families, and...
I don't think there's a decline in masculinity. I don't know how you all feel. I don't think there's a decline in masculinity, whatever that means. Like, masculinity has changed, obviously. Women like different things in men, and men like different things in women now. I don't think that means it's a decline. Yeah, no problem, bud. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for being here.
Good homes. So why are they behaving like this? It's hard to tell precisely what's going on. But whatever the cause, there's
Look
a problem
at the King Kong finger. See you, man. Thanks for being here.
Immense social pressure on our women to not have families.
No more spaghetti. Stop.
Take a look at this.
I want to take you back to the 1950s, or at least that's what I thought when I read this Brisbane mum's Facebook post. Brooke Smith shared her routine online. Here's what she said. I always make sure I don't go to bed until everyone's lunches are packed, their clothes are set out for the next day, including my husband's, and the house is clean, dishwasher is on, and a load of washing is on. I always get up early, 4:30, with my husband to make his breakfast and coffee. Go, Brooke. Whatever. I mean, I tell you what, though, Chris, I mean, a lot of people online are saying, well done, praising her.
Who? Who are these people? Oh, has he hypnotised her or something? Who does this stuff? Making his breakfast and then putting his clothes out overnight? Is he disabled or something? Like, seriously?
Is he disabled? No, I mean, if you want to live your life... Yeah, let's go back to the 19... Make America great again. Hold up. Black people be like, wait, hold up. Hold on now. Yeah. Like, if you want to do that, if you want to be the stay-at-home mom, like I make the joke, like barefoot, like pregnant, washing dishes. If that makes you happy, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Don't let anybody stop you. If that's what makes you happy, if being happy means like being the stay-at-home mom, caring for your family and your husband like your child, and he's all down for it and everybody's having a good time, do it. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. The problem comes when we push it as like the default that women should aspire to, because most women are happier when they're career centered. Like, that's just true. Most women today, like millennials and up, are much more happy being career focused than being at home. And that's also fine. And I don't think we should also either push that as being the default either. Like, it should be fine with that. Whatever you want to be, go ahead and be it. That's the life I want to live, you know? And obviously people are going to, you know, be like, what are you doing? Is it like a slave woman? You know, whatever. I'm fine with it.
Get off your bum and do stuff yourself.
My only theory is that she might actually like her husband, and she might actually like to get up at 4:30 and spend time. I mean, I like my husband, but make your own bloody breakfast and coffee. I mean, you know. But the amazing thing, apparently this couple run an MMA fighting gym. Like mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts, and they also breed bulldogs, so they can do whatever they want. I'm like, not arguing. Hey, you know what, if it makes her happy, but I mean, nothing on that list of things there, you know. And she's got 4.
Yeah, nothing on that list of things were necessarily bad. You know, make sure the kids are in bed, do the laundry, get up at 4, they probably have the relationship, you know, like from Up, like the old dude from Up, like who's always thinking about his wife who died, fixing his tie in the morning, making breakfast, fixing his tie for him in the morning before he leaves for work, and then they, go. She stays home, go about their day. That's like the life that they live. That's fine. That's chill. I don't think anybody got up in arms about like the woman there from Up, right? And then like she died, and he had to learn how to tie his own tie, and that was like a interesting moment. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody's happy here. If everybody's happy, we're doing great.
Age of 6. But did you see her photos too? She still had time to like make her hair look beautiful and put her makeup on. She looks gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, you're making the rest of us look bad.
Watching that video, it's hard to contain my anger at the way that woman.
It's hard to contain my anger. The only dude who was actually mad, like going hard, and I think he was mostly saying it in jest. There was only a dude who was like, "Oh, fix your own breakfast," and then like the other one was like, "I love my husband, but dude, make your own coffee, dude. You're a grown man, and that's fine too. That's fine too."
Is portrayed. She's a beautiful wife and mother, and is dedicated to the well-being of her lovely family. Could there be anything more noble and wonderful than that?
I mean, if she's happy, no, I guess. Just like there's nothing more noble than a woman who feels, instead of like the man being like the breadwinner and her being the house caregiver, it's more like a 50-50 kind of thing, and or they both work and or they both do equal housework. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. Like two people like splitting the work that has to be done in a family equally and loving life while doing it. Nothing more beautiful than that either. But I think he'd find a massive problem with that.
It's telling that at the end of the clip, the female presenter lets slip she's making us all look bad. And yes, she really is making you look bad. And very jealous.
Like jealous. I don't think anybody's jealous. I don't think anybody goes home and thinks about this video like, dang it, you're a piece of shit woman, making me look bad right now, waking up at 4 a.m., fixing coffee for my husband. Like, no, everybody's fine. They live their own dang life.
Obviously, a non-white woman would never be featured in such a hateful piece as this, because this is just more anti-white propaganda. Do you think they would ever mock a Muslim housewife?
He's so angry.
And even if they did, they wouldn't dare. It's so transparent and disgraceful. While the problem with white women is indeed complex, I think the best thing our men can do is to focus on self-improvement and rediscovering their masculinity.
What does that mean?
The sort of man they want to be with. The sort of man they want to have families with. Most so-called career women know what's up if they're honest. They know that a good life is not spent slaving away for a corporation that will forget you.
The struggle to conceive with frozen eggs. Become a poster child of her freezing eggs, but it didn't quite work out how she imagined. I mean, I don't know. Like these dudes also imagine like, oh, these women, they live their slut life and then they realize that their eggs are all dried up. My throat's a little dry. And they realize their eggs are all dried up and there's nothing left and they're a used piece of trash and nobody